بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
It is heavy on the tongue, but because it is not a usual usage, it was an exception. Because they say now the verb خرج عن أصله, يعني it left its original form for a reason, for a temporary reason. So temporarily it is like this.
It's a special kind of meaning.
Yes, you can see it. This is, يعني we call it عارض. عارض, يعني we call it يعني like an emergency situation. All right. This is just generally speaking now. I'm going to give you another principle. Okay. So did you get the idea of the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said وَخُلِقَ الْإِنسَانُ خُلِقَ الْإِنسَانُ خُلِقَ الْإِنسَانُ الإنسان خُلِقَ الْإِنسَانُ. The human being was created. How do you know that it is was created?
And then it's
Who? See, yes, because the beginning has a dhamma. No, the verb does not have a dhamma. The beginning. خُلِقَ الْإِنسَانُ الإنسان.
This is body.
Yes, but خُلِقَ, not خَلَقَ. خُلِقَ الْإِنسان. What tells you that this is the human being was created and not the human being created? What tells you that? The different form of that the verb took. So the verb took a different form to tell you, listen, here, al-insan, there's a problem here. Al-insan took the position of the doer and took its ruling, so beware. Okay? So this changing happened to the verb to indicate that al-insan here is in the position of the fa'il, even though it isn't a fa'il. Okay? It is a maf'ul originally, but it is in the position of a fa'il. Okay, is this understood? I hope this is clear. Huh?
But you said not fa'il.
Huh?
It's not maf'ul, it's not fa'il.
And they call it na'ibu fa'il. It is maf'ul in the asl. Yani in the original state, it is maf'ul. And in meaning here, it is maf'ul. In meaning. But technically, grammatically, what do they call it? They don't call it maf'ul now. They call it na'ibu fa'il. And na'ibu fa'il means a substitute for the fa'il. واضح?
Can we compare this with خلقنا الإنسان? Can we have a comparison of this with خلقنا الإنسان? In the meaning and the grammatical state.
خلق الإنسان. خلقنا. Na is the doer. You take away na. خلق الإنسان.
So na is the we created.
Yes, na is the doer. We. You take away we, and then al-insan will take the place of we. Then it will be given a dhamma. Then you have to change the verb. You have to do those changings to the verb. So what are the changings that are done to the verb here? Generally, number one. Generally, when changing to passive, we give the first letter A dhamma. Whether what?
Madi or
Whether ma or mudari. Yes.
Generally, خلقنا الإنسان because
خلقنا الإنسان. If you mention the doer, you're going to say الإنسان. Because خلقنا, you're mentioning the doer. خلقنا الإنسان. Na is the doer.
that becomes
الإنسان is the receiver. When you mention the doer and the receiver, there's no problem. You don't change anything.
so fatha and adamma because na with the fatha and
No, na does not take a fatha because na is fixed on the sukun. The noon is fixed on the fatha and the alif is fixed on the sukun. That they express it in grammar. They call it bina. Bina is when the end of the word is fixed to a certain letter, whatever position it took.
for example
For example, هؤلاء. This N is always with a kasra, no matter where you put it. هؤلاء قوم منكرون. إن هؤلاء. Okay. قال هؤلاء. You don't say قال هؤلاء. Why? Because this word هؤلاء is one of the words where it is fixed upon a haraka. This is a state of bina. This state where many harakas alternate on the end of the word, this grammatical state is called i'rab. Okay? So where the end of the verb could be changed, This word is in a state of i'rab. But where the word is only on one state and will never change, this is a state which they call binana. واضح?
Two more examples from
Yes, we're going to give more examples. Now we're just going to lay down the principles. And then slowly, we're going to give examples throughout the chapter. Okay? So, this is understood. Generally, we give the first letter. What? Okay, whether long or long. Okay? In al-Madi, we give the second last letter. What? Kasra. Okay. Number 3. In al-Mudari' we give the second last letter A. Fatiha. Okay? Okay? You're with me on this?
Yes.
You agree?
Yeah. Yes. You don't have a choice.
No, I haven't. With the Sufis, you don't.
No, you don't have this with Sufi.
No. So you say you don't have the right to object the teacher at all. Even if the form is in the form of a Muslim, you don't have the right. So, the student before his teacher, they say, not us, they say the student before his teacher is just like the body before the one washing it, the dead body. Yes. That's what they say. They call the student al-murid. Call the student al-murid. Okay. This thing is not just said, this thing is studied. The foundations of religion, the faculty, the foundations of religion, we study this. Study different groups, what they say, what are their beliefs, what is the position of Ahl-Sunnah from them, how they have clarified their errors, how did they warn against them, all of this we study. Okay, so this is not just something that is just a slander or a tale carrying. No, this is in their books. From their books we get this. Okay. Okay, let us not go through. Let's not go far. So this is understood. Generally speaking, see? Fourth, yeah, regarding some verbs, we will mention the fourth, inshallah. this does not mean when you object with no manners. Okay? And when we said they say you don't have the right to object, does not mean that with other than them you show what is apparently taken as an objection. But no, but the student, because he is a beginner and because he is taken from a teacher, he has to inquire when he does not understand. It's not like he's objecting. He's inquiring. That's why he brings it in the form of a question. But Ustad, shouldn't it be this way? Or Ustad, some of them say so and so and so. How can we answer that? Okay. If the Ustad happens to be wrong, which is rare, because usually the person who teaches what he knows. So it is rare that there is a mistake. But if we say there is, he will be aware of the mistake and he will say, no, this is right. He will correct himself eventually. That is if he's humble, if he's not arrogant. Okay? And if there's a confusion, which is mostly how it is, the teacher will answer the confusion of the student and say, no, that's not how it is, because so and so. Okay. This is very important. May Allah bless you. When you take from the people of knowledge, it's very important because many people leave the people of knowledge because of their bad manners. And they think they are right. People of knowledge are humans, just like anyone else. So they have their own habits, they have their own difficulties, they have their own problems. So then, you are going to them for the knowledge they have, not for their person, not for them personally, but for the knowledge they have. So you have to humiliate yourself, not for them, not for their sake, but for the sake of the knowledge that you're getting. You should have great respect, because they carry in their breasts what you don't carry. They carry something which is very sacred. They carry within them the religion of Allah and the book of Allah. And any degrading of them is a degrading of what they carry. And a loss of trust in the hearts of people in them. That's why they say backbiting a scholar or backbiting someone in authority is unlike backbiting anyone else. As a Shaykh Muhammad bin Salih, let me clarify. Why? Because when you backbite a scholar, you prevent people from benefiting from him. Because you're dropping him from the eyes of people. And if you drop him from the eyes of people, then the people will not benefit from him. And if the people will not benefit from him, then this is a great calamity that is befalling the Ummah when they don't ask their people of knowledge. This is a topic that is made as a science by itself. Many scholars have written on the etiquettes of seeking knowledge. Many scholars. many books. I can keep mentioning to you books for what, 25 minutes, just mentioning books. Okay. Why did they mention a lot? Why did they write a lot of books regarding the ethics of seeking knowledge? Because they knew for certain that without the manners, you will not gain knowledge. Without manners, you will not gain knowledge. Some of them even openly mentioned that they used to attend, for example, the lectures of Imam Ahmad just to learn his manners, just for that. One of them said, I attended 20 years or so, attending the classes of Imam Ahmad just to observe and learn his manners. That is why the students of Imam Malik said, تعلمنا من مالك الأدب قبل أن نتعلم العلم. We learn from Imam Malik manners before we learn the knowledge. But without manners, you will not learn. I can give you many examples for that. Because when you don't have manners, or when you have ill manners, these ill manners will screen you from benefiting from the one you are taking from. And see, it will prevent you from benefiting. It will prevent you from benefiting. Look how Musa alayhi salam was with Al-Khadr. Wallahi, if Al-Khadr would do the same, or if someone today would do the same as Al-Khadr did with Musa, would anyone be patient in seeking knowledge? Huh? What would he say? Why this guy is so arrogant? Committed a mistake in not being patient with me. From the first time he's objecting or he's bothered. Not be patient. And today, I'm going to be honest with you. Today, because of the excessive amount of ignorance that is there, the people of knowledge have to look over many things from the students just for the sake of benefiting. That is why one of the people of knowledge told me specifically, he said, before the student is the one who was patient with his teacher. But today it is the opposite. The teacher is the one who is supposed to be patient with students. Why? Because many people, when they got into the dunya, it became this knowledge and the way to seek it became strange to them. So they have to be treated with wisdom. If people of knowledge would treat the students how they treated them before, nobody would be patient. I'm being honest with you. I'm telling you how it was before. How it was before, it was nothing. The student would miss a meal and he would not miss a class. And the student would never make the teacher feel like the student is the one favoring the teacher by his attending. But it is always the opposite. Some students would come from a long way just to listen to one hadith and go. At the time when Imam Ahmad was imprisoned in his house, he was commanded by the people, the person in authority, to not leave his house. There's a person who used to come continuously and insist on Imam Ahmad to just narrate to him the hadith. So he was insisting. So Imam Ahmad told him, listen, come in the form of a questioner. So it will not be said that you're coming to take a lesson from him. So he would come instead of a questioner, and he would ask him about this hadith, and he would get the hadith. A hadith a day, or 3 ahadith a day. See? Abu Musa al-Ash'ari went and stayed in front of the home of Ibn Mas'ud, Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, waiting for him to come out. See how keen they were for knowledge, how thirsty they were for knowledge. But today, sorry to say, the students follows the way of, if you're not good to me, I will not learn from you. Or if you don't show me good, I will not learn. This does not mean that the teacher shows it bad, no. But this means that the student expects to be pampered by his teacher. واضح بارك الله فيكم. And this proves to you one thing, that the hikmah, wisdom, changes from sometimes due to using wisdom in da'wah. Sometimes the teacher has to do what is not usually done, just as long as he doesn't go against religion. But sometimes he might overlook a certain thing that is usually done just for the sake of benefiting the students. Okay. Especially the issue of assumptions today. Assumptions. And the rigid, filthy rulings that are based on assumptions today. He did that because he meant this. He did that because he meant that. This is one of the great ill manners which deviate the student from benefiting from the teacher. Why? Because he sees from the teacher what apparently seems something bad, but it is not. If he only asked the teacher will clarify it. He said, no, this is nothing bad. This is in Sharia. I can give you many examples. Of the examples is the teacher cannot accept a gift from a student. Yeah, this is something that most of you don't know. And because he should not show any preference for a student over another. And there's a hadith in that, a general hadith. Even as a boss, in a working place, not accept that if he's unaware of work, because there's much ignorance. Rather, before people used to come to the teachers. Now the teachers go and present themselves. Do you want the class? Why don't you come join us? Benefit from the classes. Before, do you know that the Sultan of the days of Al-Bukhari asked for Al-Bukhari to come to his palace and read him I had narrated to them a hadith. You know what Al-Bukhari said? Al-Bukhari said, I will not humiliate this knowledge for anyone. You want hadith, come and get it. To the Sultan. See how sacred this knowledge is. He did not want to bring it to anyone. Anyone who wants it, if it's precious to him, he comes and gets it. See the classes of the greater Imam. Don't think that the only people who attended are the laymen. No, even the sultans, they used to attend those classes back those days. They come to those classes. Senators, ministers, all they come because back then a lot of them were people of knowledge. The sultans, they were knowledgeable. So they come and attend and benefit and listen.
What is Mubni? Sorry, what does Mubni mean?
Mabniyu? Mabniyu means built. Built. Okay? Now the chapters that we have taken so far are فعل أفعل فعل فعل
افتعل
افتعل
انفعل.
Here we're going to exclude the two chapters. Why are we mentioned? تفعل
وفعل.
تفاعل استفعل
فعلت. فعلت.
فعل. This act, which is changing to passive, can only be done to a transitive verb. Because you can only place the receiver in the position of the doer when there is a receiver. Right?
Yeah.
So this is not done with a verb that does not take a receiver. It is only done with transitive verbs. Okay? These are all have cases where they are transitive. That's why we excluded two chapters from this, which is in fa'ala and if'alla. Both in fa'ala and if'alla are always lazim, so they are not even spoken about in this case. Got this? The mudari' يفعل
يفعل.
يفعل
يفعل.
يفعل
حلو. فاعل.
Only one is participating? Only one is doing musharaka? يفعل افتعل. Its mudari is what?
يفعل. يفعل.
يفتعل. تفعل
يتفاعل.
يتفعل. تفاعل is
يتفاعل.
استفعل is
يستفعل.
يستفعل.
أيوه.
Yes. فعل is يفعل. These are all the chapters that we have taken, excluding in فعل and يفعل. Okay? Now we're going to change this to what? To passive. We're going to change to passive. So what's the general principle? First general principle when changing to passive is do what? Give dhamma to the first letter. So instead of fa, it's going to be what? Fu. A, u, fu, fu. Okay? I'm going to delay speaking about those. Fu. With the mudara as well? We give it the dhamma? Yes. You. If it has a dhamma already, good. It did the job for us. You. Okay? It's a general principle. Now the second general principle with the ma is that we do what? You can read it from your notes. No problem.
Second
last letter will be? Kasra. So here, fu'ala, for example, will be what? Fu'ila. And uf'ala will be what? Uf'ila. And fu'ala will be what? Fu'ila. How do we do this? The dhamma. What does it have after it? Does the alif suit the dhamma? What suits the dhamma? Wow. Wow. What suits the dhamma? Wow. So we change this alif to a wow. And then the ain will get, instead of fatha, what? فوعل. وكأي من نبي. No, not this one. كأي من نبي قاتل. فوعل. قوتل. قوتل. قتل يعني he was fought. قاتل he fought. قتل he was fought. Okay. Okay? Now, when there is a ta in the beginning, there is a ruling. And when there is an alif in the beginning, there's a ring. Simple. When there's an alif, let's speak about when there's an alif in the beginning. Okay? يعني like this one. افتعل and like what? استفعل. These are the two chapters which we use here which have an alif in the beginning. How to do this? Here we give a dhamma to the first letter which takes a haraka excluding the alif. We give the dhamma to the first letter which usually takes a haraka, not counting the alif. So don't count the alif. Where do you usually put the first haraka? Huh? Not the fa. If, does the fa have haraka? If, ta. What's the first letter that takes a haraka? The ta. So we give the dhamma to what? To the ta. Okay? No? We give the first. The alif is not considered. Why? Because the alif drops in the middle of speech. That's why it's not considered. It's not looked at when giving principles. The alif is not looked at. Didn't we say we give the first letter a dhamma? Huh? Okay. In this case, in the case of these forms, these two forms, we're still giving the first letter a dhamma. In what sense? In the sense, the first letter which takes a haraka, we give it a dhamma. Yani whenever you find the first haraka, that first haraka, you change it into a dhamma. Understood? So you say, and still, you give the second last what? A kasra. Uftu'ila. Uftu'ila. If you give the alif also a dhamma, when starting with it, of course. Uftu'ila. Uqututila. Here, where you put the dhamma here? Huh? Where? The ta, very good. Ustuf? Huh? Aina.
You put it on alif as well as?
Yes, alif. Like ustukhrija. Ustukhrija. استغفر الله. Yani Allah was asked forgiveness.
Ufila is not the same. Ufila is not the same. Don't start with alif.
No, that's Hamza. When we say alif, we mean this one. The one that drops in the middle of speech. Okay? Clear?
Why will that was not put in the second alif? In the ustuf.
The ta is in its place. Because when we say the wrong, we say the usual form, we say istaf'al. The ta is in its place, it doesn't leave its place. But because the ta is the first letter where there is a haraka, the dhamma was given in. Got it? Okay. One last ruling regarding the ta. Yani the verbs which have a ta at the beginning. in its madi, of course. Here, you don't only give the first letter a dhamma, also the second. So when there is a ta, you give the first and the second a dhamma. So, what do we give the ta here? What do we give the fa? Dhamma. And the second last letter will be given what? Kasra. How do you read this? Tufu'ila. 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 تصدق على فلان. Okay? Okay, what about this one? Do we do the same? تفاعل, do we do the same? So what do we put on that? And then ضم on the fa? The alif, does it suit the dhamma? What suits the dhamma? So what do we change the alif to? Just as we changed it here. So we say tufu aila. So this does not change this principle that we give the second last a kasra. It's not changing. Tufu aila. Yeah. Because in the mudari there's none of that. Right? Fu'alila. Okay. The mudari, we give the second last what? Fatha. This already has a fatha, right? Yuf'alu. Yuf'alu. It is being done. And here it is yuf'ilu. What do we do? Fatha on yuf'alu. Those two will look the same. What will tell you the difference? The context. And taking it back to its origin. Yufa'alu will be yufa'alu. Because in the mudari we give the second last what? Fatha. Right? With me?
Yes.
Do the pills. يفعل. This one, يفعل. يفتعل will be يفتعل. يفتعل. يتفعل. What do we do to this? يتفعل. What do we do to the ayn? Nothing. It's ready. It's ready. The ayn already has the fatha. We don't do anything. Alhamdulillah. If it already has a dhamma in the beginning, it did half of the job for us. If it already had a fatha in the second last letter, it already did the job for us. Alhamdulillah.
Do you understand where the matter is?
No. There's no here. There's only one possible option because the beginning has a dhamma. In the active, you say yatafa. But here, the you will tell you, this is passive. Well, يتفاعلوا. Do we change anything?
No.
Already, it's ready. يستفعلوا. Here we change. يستفعل. What about يفعلوا? Do we change? Huh?
Yes.
يفعلوا. What do we change? Do we change anything?
Second last
Think about it.
second last one.
We say in the Mudari, the second last letter gets what? So we change from Kasra to Yufa'ala.
Is that right? Is that right?
Huh? The Fatha is lighter than the Kasra. It's all heavy. This is all heavy. But this is an exceptional case. The passive voice is an exceptional case. And exceptional cases are not used to bombard and break down the principles. They don't affect the principles. Yani you cannot come to an exceptional case and use it to contradict the principle. They say, if this principle is correct, then why do we have this here? No. Exceptional cases are not used to contradict or to oppose or to object the major principles. Because the principle says that there isn't a principle except it has oddities, exceptions. Okay? Examples. فعل for the Quran. خلق الإنسان ضعيف.
ضرب مثلا.
ضرب مثل. See? مثلا, that is in the original sentence. ضرب الله مثلا. But Allah, the doer was taken out. What came in its place? مثلا. So before it was مثلا, now since it took the position of the doer, it will be مثلٌ. So ضرب مثل. How do we know that the doer was Allah, which is taken out? In the other verse, ضرب الله مثلا للذين آمنوا امرأة فرعون إذ قالت. Okay. Here, ضرب مثل فاستمعوا له. Okay. And this has reasons. Not to mention the doer has reasons, and these reasons will be discussed where? In Bala. Okay? In eloquence. Okay? طيب. خلق الإنسان من عجل.
كتب عليكم. كتب عليكم.
كتب عليكم الصيام. كتب الله عليكم الصيام. كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم. It was prescribed. But كتب كتب الله الصيام. Allah prescribed الصيام. كتب عليكم الصيام. الصيام was prescribed. Bible, not mentioned. It is known. Allah, it is known. One of the reasons why you don't mention the door, because it is known. It's so known that it doesn't need to be mentioned. Mentioning it when it is already known might be contradicting eloquence of speech. Sometimes the doer is not mentioned for the sake of glorification. because it is so known and it is so great that you don't mention it. Okay?
قتل أصحاب الأخدود.
أحسنت. قتل أصحاب قتل so and so أصحاب الأخدود. قتل أصحاب نعم. good. يلا.
جعل رزقي تحت
جعل رزقي تحت ظل رمحي. It was made. جعل. أفعل. No, يسبح. أفعل الماضي. يسبح المضارع. أنزل. Where? I was waiting for that. وما أنزل على الأرض. Where's أنزل in the Quran?
سورة البقرة.
Where? ألف لام ميم ذلك الكتاب ولا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين الذين يؤمنون بما أنزل.
So, if we know these principles, we can know that when someone reads the Quran and we ourselves reciting, we can know that something is wrong with the harakat.
Yeah,
it shouldn't be.
There's nothing wrong, of course.
But
I know
what you recite.
Yes.
We can detect the something wrong.
Who does not know those principles cannot detect nothing, because he doesn't have a detector in the first place. فعل like قتل أينما ثقفوا أخذوا وقتلوا تقتيلا. سورة الأحزاب. فعل. Anyone remembers this? Something similar to this in the Quran? فعل. I don't recall anything. Doubtful. I feel there is one. طيب افتعل وقتل ولو شاء الله ما قتلوا ولا لا؟ ولا ما اقتتلوا؟ ما اقتتلوا. That is ما اقتتلوا. ولو شاء الله ما اقتتلوا ولكن الله يفعل ما يريد. طيب تفعل استفعل فعل يفعل يؤخذ بالنواصي والأقدام. يؤخذ بالنواصي والأقدام. يؤخذ يفعل The congregations are the same. The congregations are the same. يعني فعلت فعلنا فعلت فعلتي فعلتما تما فعل تم فعل تن فعل فعلت فعلا فعلوا فعلتا فعلوا فعلنا. The congregations are the same. It don't change. Yani turning this into passive, it doesn't change the congregations. So you have to excuse me. Barakallahu feekum. That is enough for today, inshallah. Allah ta'ala, sallallahu sallam wa This is the passive voice of the next weekend will be end of level 2. And hopefully we'll pick up level 3. Since we have still a lot remaining from the Hadeeth and the fiqh. We'll add level 3. I don't think the students are ready for an exam yet. So we'll give level 3 inshallah. And while we're giving level 3, we'll hand out exercises that you can do to strengthen what you have learned, so that when there will be an exam inshallah, you'll be ready for it at least. Fair enough? Okay? And we will keep giving you exercises every weekend by the will of Allah, inshallah. We have the time for that. There are 2 videos we have time on it. The strongest is what? We don't. But inshallah we'll try. Anyone has questions? Wait, we're going to be left with 2 things. With the, after this, we finish now the passive and active voice. Then will come the rulings of the noon. The noon of emphasizing. How to emphasize the verb with a noon. With the noon. Like لَيُسْجَنَنَّ وَلَيَكُونَ مِنَ الصَّالِحِينَ كَلَّا لَيُنْبَذَنَّ فِي الْحُطَمَةِ لَنَسْفَعًا بِالنَّاصِيَةِ. The rulings of this noon. And then certain rulings with some chapters we have taken, and that's the end of them.